This week, we are going to be doing a shading practice for our Monster Madness project. You're going to need your printout of Mike Wazowski, a dark green, a light green, and a yellow colored pencil, along with a practice paper. We're going to start off by practicing some colored pencil techniques. First technique is blending. To understand blending, you first need to understand how to create different values. You do this by applying more pressure to make it darker and less pressure to make it lighter. To blend in other colors, you are going to overlap them. See how I'm blending in the lighter green by just overlapping it with the darker green? Now I'm going to overlap my yellow into my lighter green. So you should always see when shading a light, medium, and dark. We're going to practice a sphere, or more basically, a 3D circle. You're going to draw your circle. I'm just using my dark green to draw it. Then in the bottom right corner, you are going to start applying a lot of pressure and shading in a curvy line type way. You always shade in a curvy way when it's a round object. That way it looks realistic. I'm getting lighter and lighter with my pressure going up towards the top because it's getting brighter as it goes up towards the light source. Now I'm going to mix in my medium or light green, so that's my medium value, light green into where I had that less pressure. And lastly, you can add your highlight or your lightest value with the yellow colored pencil. So you should always be able to see that light, medium, dark, smooth transition when you are shading with colored pencils. If it looks like there's a hard shift between the dark and the medium, just go back and try to add more of one or the other color, making it look really smooth. If you need to go back and darken in the darks, darken in the medium, just so it looks nice and smooth. Now we're going to practice adding an arm to the sphere because it's kind of like what Mike Wazowski looks like. So the arm is like a cylinder, right? So I'm going to shade the darkest on the inside areas, getting lighter as it goes up towards the top. Now I can blend in my medium value with that medium green and add the highlight with the yellow. So you can still see how it goes from dark to medium to light. Next up, we are going to apply what we just practiced to our Mike Wazowski. If you don't know Mike Wazowski, try watching the little video in the first or second slide of the slideshow of Monsters, Inc. So we're going to start with our dark, just like we shaded our sphere. We're shading in a similar way that we practice. So starting with all the inside, sort of think of the areas that are going back, down, or under. Those are usually our darkest areas, right? Think of it going back into a cave. Once we have our dark colored, you're going to use their medium green and blend it into the dark green. So I'm applying a lot of pressure because I'm trying to get all of that sort of bright green onto Mike Wazowski because this is his main color. So you can see my shadows are going down and back and under, and then all of my medium greens. You can go back and darken in some areas that you think need to be darker before you add your highlights. So I'm just finding all the areas that I think would be going back or away from me and adding some dark green. Think of like all the crevices. And just add your green, your dark green to those.
I note that Sky, there's some strange evolutionary process going on. But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Now we are going to add some highlights with our yellow. So blending in that yellow anywhere that you can see that looks like it would be standing out, poking out at you, looking really bright. And lastly, you're going to color in his eye with some blue because he has a blue eye. And that's our Mike Wazowski. Can you see the dark, medium, and light values to make it look 3D?